Ah, hello and welcome, especially to my new subscribers. Thank you. We've been picking you up lately, and I appreciate it tremendously, helping me avoid YouTube doom. So, hungry people, what are we making tonight? Well, let's start with the easy part. I always keep baby carrots in the fridge. These are getting kind of old, so I better use them up. And this is a good way to make your kids eat carrots. Oh, I wish I had a bigger kitchen right now. So, carrots. A little salt. A little pepper. A little bit of olive oil. A little extra olive oil. Throw them in the oven. Roast them. Yeah, food is easy. So, what are we actually making for dinner, though? We are making something I don't really like. But I've seen so many bad recipes for it out there that I have to do it. And we're going to run a little long tonight, probably. So, first, I have a piece of cheap steak. Cut, and this requires explanation. Cut oddly. And now, brown. Okay. So the first thing you need to make tonight's dinner is one of these. This is a honing rod. In this case, it belonged to my wife's grandfather. Because you need a very sharp knife to take a piece of inexpensive meat and cut it properly. You can freeze it, you can do all sorts of tricks, but at the end of the day, you just need a very sharp knife. Think of a steak as a 2x4. You can chop it across, and that doesn't really work. You can chop it diagonally, and that doesn't really work either. Trust me, I've tried it. But, if you do a compound cut at an angle with a very sharp knife, you'll get trapezoidal pieces of meat, which regardless of the cut, will be very tender. And I'm referring to things such as a London broil, which made my dentist very happy at one point. So, take these trapezoidal cuts of meat, salt and pepper them. La 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 la, I'm still here. And put them in the fridge for a while. Yes, allow the meat to cure. Because rule number 1, technique creates flavor. You'll notice I am just, well, it's kind of impossible given the camera angles. Pardon me, I do not have expensive equipment. I am simply browning the meat in some fat. Here I have a lot of chopped up and browned in butter cremini mushrooms that I have just poured all over the floor. My doggy is going to love that one. YouTube videos. Yes, we do everything real time here, complete with cleaning up mess. I also have an onion, cut up fine, cooked slowly and gently in olive oil. This is about 20 minutes, believe it or not. On medium heat, keeping it moving around. And what we are doing tonight is beef stroganoff. Which is a favorite of Mrs. Chef's, but not mine. The reason we are doing it is I've seen such horrible recipes for it on YouTube. Paula Dean, do not make this with hamburger. Learn how to properly cut your meat. It will be tender enough, trust me. Oh, that is pretty. That is beefy. That will taste nothing like hamburger. So meat, cut on a bias, compound angle, you carpenters out there. Salted, peppered, left in the fridge for a while, browned, in fat. Okay, for all of you French chefs, oh, what is that called? That is called fond. Oh, drool. It's one annoying thing. I had to go back to 1971 to find an authentic recipe for this. What that means is I will not be deglazing the pan with wine. Ah! I am not thrilled by that. I will be doing a beef stock, which, because I always use chicken stock, chicken stock, will have to be made instantly in the pan. And as we do everything live, get to watch me rinse out my measuring cup. The fond is made up of the onions, the mushrooms, and now my browned beef. So there. Water. Far from my favorite deglazing liquid, but it works. Okay. I am scraping the bottom of the pan, and I am literally creating what appears to be a thin beef stock in the process. Let's put some heat under that. So, beef stroganoff. It is not made with hamburger. It is not made in a slow cooker. If you do so, you will get approximately 1/50th the flavor. Okay, now this recipe from 1971 calls for beef stock. So I have some beef stock concentrate, some warm water, and some very delightful fond. Come along, you gooey, awful stuff. Yes, I confess, I prefer to be using red wine and enjoying its flavor as well. Oh, that's a lot of salt. Fortunately, we're Americans. So, beef stroganoff is, well, quite honestly, in my opinion, it's what you make when you live in Siberia and your cow dies in the middle of winter. And all you've got is some tough meat and some rotten milk, known as sour cream. Okay. Now this recipe from the past is a bit too authentic. Because the final ingredient are French pickles. Yes. La 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 la, I'm still here. I have a tiny kitchen and an even cheaper camera. Yes, in theory, I'm supposed to add cornichons. However, I think we'll be just modern enough not to do that tonight. So in the pan, I now have slowly dissolved beef stock concentrate, water, and an amazing fond built of onions, mushrooms, and beef. Yes, if you butcher the meat properly, you can do this with almost anything. Be it London broil, eye of round roast. Okay, I have a delightful beef flavored broth now. So, a little bit of French style mustard. The recipe actually, hello, woo-hoo, called for dry mustard powder, which you find commonly in recipes from the era, that involve beef. So we will be using French style mustard instead of dry mustard powder. Oddly, it called for a little bit of lemon juice, which I will be adding later to keep it fresh. Okay, the mustard is dissolving and adding to the beefiness of the dish. I have a delightful but thin beef broth. So let's add a little Wondra to thicken that up. You can also make a classic roux if you prefer. Which will of course have a much more buttery flavor. However, it should be noted that the mushrooms were browned in butter, and so they will be bringing a great deal of that with them. Okay, that's a little bit on the warm side. Well, as we do everything in real time, my gravy is lumpy. Far from irreparable, pardon me, but annoying. Yes, fortunately, everything can be fixed with enough effort. Okay. Yes, attack the lumps. You will de-lump your gravy quite nicely. Even if you've been talking too much and putting it all on YouTube. La 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 la, watch me stir my gravy. Yes, I know, cooking is so exciting at times. Okay. We have one advantage with this dish, and that is the sour cream. You'll notice I've been cooking in component pieces. Yes. There we are. So, onions. Browned just lightly. Cook for 15 to 20 minutes, contributing to the sweetness. It's an almost French style. Mushrooms cooked in butter. Note, we have a tremendous beef stock in that pan. And beef. Ooh. Oh. That is not hamburger. Oh. Don't tell my wife I did that on camera. Oh, that's good. That is the joy of a cheap steak. It's got a lot of flavor. Okay. So here we have an amazing beef and mushroom stew. Oh, part of me wishes I hadn't used the beef stock concentrate. There is such an amazing beefy flavor already. The mustard is actually adding some wonderful high notes. Oh my heavens. That flavor will not come out of a crock pot, I'm sorry. So, due to YouTube time limits, that's going to be about it. I'm going to cook up half a bag of egg noodles. The instructions are on the back. You'll note these have the yolks. Yes, if you want egg noodles, get the ones with the yolks. They're much richer and wonderful. Shortly before serving, I will add to this wonderful, 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 deep flavored beef and mushroom and stock, lemon juice, and crowning achievement, sour cream. Beef Stroganoff. Do not cook the sour out of the sour cream. That is the key. Just warm the sour cream in the beef, and you will achieve something that is kind of wonderful. It is just basic, easy to do. We're going to serve that with some oven roasted carrots, which your children will most likely eat because they will be caramelized and sweet and wonderful. And as mentioned before, egg noodles. So that's it. Food. It's a little complicated tonight. We cooked the onions separately. We cooked the mushrooms separately. We cooked the beef separately. We combined everything. But it'll be pretty good. So that's it. This is social media. Please be good social citizens and subscribe. Thank you, and that's it.